Okay. The stream shut down unexpectedly. Well, I'm back, I believe. My name is fixed. Welcome to the Truth Table, everyone. Paul Everton, the host here, and it is season 2. So thanks for all the contributions of followers that made it possible for me to come back. My guest today has been the leader of the Ontario Libertarian Party for quite a while now, and has been a guest in season 1. And I'm very grateful to have him back to have an open discussion about the situation in Canada. And we're going to talk about all sorts of different things. And it looks like it's going to rain outside. So I'm I'm preparing for the worst. But welcome. Thanks for coming, Mark, to the Truth Table. It's a pleasure having you back again.
Well, thank you very much for the invite and for always your steadfast support of liberty, freedom, and the idea of living independently, free of thought, of conscience, and just being a good person in life. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you very much. I wanted to talk about so many different things. And, I want to thank you too, because it's quite a challenge to become a leader of a party. And there's a lot of pressure and a lot of demands, from the other candidates and all that sort of thing. If you want to join and become a part of the Libertarian, it's libertarian.on.ca. And you can become a candidate, or I believe they're going to have a leadership election. So if you would like to get involved, there is a way to do that. And if you love freedom, and if you're a part of the convoy, you would definitely want to put your life effort into that, into freedom in any possible form that it can come in. That is one way, and it's odd for me because the opportunity has always been there, you know, to to free ourselves. Libertarian Party has been around for a long time in the United States. We have Ron Paul, and he always made perfect sense to me. And yet, the media. Do you think there's a problem with the media because they just don't want anything to do with Ron Paul?
So there is no such thing as media unless it's guys like you anymore. What you describe as mainstream media is really just the propaganda machines of both the government and the political parties, because they are the purveyors of the money for the most part in Canada on the mainstream media, and the political messaging that is funded with your taxpayers' dollars in the form of vote subsidies tells the story that they want you to hear. They tell you when to be angry, they tell you when to be upset, they tell you what to do, and most people don't even realize what's occurring. I haven't watched mainstream media in 20 years. I first noticed it overseas when I was in the Army. Our reporting of what was happening in Bosnia and Sarajevo versus what the Canadian government was telling the people. And it took another 10 years for me to figure out that the media had changed and they were no longer telling a story. They were telling propaganda. Unless it's guys like you, the Joe Rogans of the world, that actually get out there and talk to real people and have real conversations.
And that's
nothing I see. I believe. I do not believe it unless it's one-on-one or a live demonstration with a live feed, because everything is subject to manipulation or creation.
I agree 100%. One-on-one is good because we can talk about anything. We can have a conversation. There's no uppers telling me what I can and cannot ask, and there's no agenda. And all my guests are the same. We just have a relaxed conversation and talk about whatever we want to talk about. I like most of my guests I say most. Actually, it's all. I like all my guests so far. I mean, I don't know if in the future, but I am open minded. So I mean, I have a pro Ukrainian guest on Monday who's going to be speaking live, but he's not pro war. He is there for humanitarian reasons, and he's from Toronto, Ontario, but he's helping to rebuild, and he's on the ground. So that should be an interesting show, um, live right from Odessa,
Wow.
Ukraine. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the second season. Has already been like exploded with amazing guests, yourself included. And I, like I said before, I hope you do come back again because your input is valuable to me. I think the Libertarians made a great choice with you and electing you, and even though you're leaving the party, which is kind of sad for me, because I thought you were a great choice. And do you think we have a serious problem here? Because we just talked about the media being controlled, but I believe it's the polls too, because so many Canadians are go gung ho for freedom when it's always been there. It's been a choice that's been ignored all along. You were always there.
Yeah, well,
You were always a choice.
one of the biggest problems we face is money. I mean, it takes money to enter into the market. It takes money to advertise across to get your message out. We
Yep.
do our best.
Yep.
We're very frugal with what money we have. And the reality is, if I won $10 million tomorrow, I can set up an organization that isn't libertarian, but everything I say is libertarian. It's called third party advertisers. And I can bash
Mm,
social media on all four main platforms and put this message out. Well, if you just go Google Ontario, Elections Ontario's website and look at all the third party advertisers that are in uh, the fold of Elections Ontario, they can spend up to $750,000. Well, 18 of the 28 in the last election were teachers' unions and unions of public service. The rest of them were coalitions of Greens and other special interest groups, religious groups, and stuff like that. And this is all funded by taxpayers' money. It isn't. They're all leading back to some form of government organization that is advocating. I can say 750 grand for a freedom of choice platform. So like Ontario's freedom advocates, right? And fund 750. And as long as I don't say the word libertarian, I can use every bit of the libertarians platform as long as I don't identify or have color branding of that. And that's how the media sphere is really organized in Canada in elections to sow disinformation. And it's disinformation because it's all funded by the government. You just look at how the teachers operate your local radio stations, the English Teachers
mm-hmm.
Federation, all these different federations that are advertising that Doug Ford is killing the province, Well, it's not Doug Ford. It's the Liberals and the Conservatives who have done this for the last 40 years, sharing power every 8 years.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. A
it's a game,
monopoly.
and people don't understand how much of a game it is.
But to me, I think it's almost too late to do anything about it because they've got their systems in place. They will fund and push and even use AI and robots to uh, get views for podcasters that will do their bidding. So they will never support me
No, but
because
you will be
no,
the one that is successful. They are paid bots. All of it is
yeah,
paid bots. It's guys like you and the other higher successful podcasters that actually people are tuning into. They're tuning out of mainstream. They're tuning out of everything else, and they're specifically looking for this demographic of people that actually get
yeah,
together and talk. Whether it be religion, whether it be war, it doesn't matter what the subject is. Is that people tune into this now because they know, and that's the thing, is everybody knows it's all not real, and yet they continue to follow the same patterns.
yeah. I think there could be some kind of technology brainwashing going on. I don't even have cable TV, and I haven't since like 90s.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had cable TV. Like in 1974, I think the capture really happened. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Um, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, we used to be able to borrow from the Bank of Canada interest free, and Pierre Elliott Trudeau decided to stop borrowing from the Bank of Canada interest free. Instead, he signed up with the Basel Committee, formerly the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. Um, so now Canada borrows money from the World Banks um, with interest. And look at this graph. Before 1974, it was right down there, real low. So I think this is when we were captured, and debt has been a part, an enslavement of our country.
Have you ever looked up
I
Sal
think
Alinsky's 8 Steps to Communism? That chart that you just showed there
yes.
is the
Mhm.
model in which you bring up debt to create poverty. Debt meaning taxation.
Yep.
Taxation meaning government debt by offering free gifts of other people's money. Except the problem is we ran out of other people's money in 1972 because Pierre Elliott Trudeau decided to go off the gold standard and go on to fiat banking. And that fiat banking, and if you look from 1972 at the start of the curve, what was there was actually leftover debt from World War II is what it was, leftover debt. And from that point forward, every budget put forward by every liberal or conservative government federally has increased that debt. Now, there's only one period of time where it didn't increase, but they took money from CPP and they took money from EI and sold off the GM shares to balance the budget under Paul Martin and Chrétien.
Hmm.
But they have no intention of ever paying it off. And what you really got to understand that most people don't understand is, you said it, the Basel Banking Committee, right? That Basel Banking, you said the IMF and World Banks is where they borrow money from.
Yep.
So how they process that in the sense of where does that money come from? A piece of paper. But where does the interest get paid to, and who does it get paid to? That's what
Yeah.
people need to really understand. When the government sells treasury bonds, it's being bought up by the wealthiest people in the world, the one percenters, and that one percenters never want to see that debt go away. So if you try to install somebody that said that, hey, we're going to cut the deficit and eliminate it in 10 years by gutting the government, sort of like Millet did,
Yeah.
then you would probably be taken out. I mean,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
you would probably be taken out. You wouldn't be able to do anything, and you'd probably be taken out. And that's why Trump is such a threat to the system, because if he can eliminate the debt by making gold go to $20,000 an ounce, he can wipe out their fiat debt and start right from zero again.
Hmm.
And we're either going to fall completely, collapse into socialism, where they've created so much debt, so much poverty, so much misery, which is where we're at right now. The only way out of this is by wiping out legislatively of our debt, like literally a pen to wipe it out, or full-on communism, socialism, where the government then seizes the means of production. And Pierre Elliott Trudeau was the guy who nationalized our oil service, sort of like Venezuela, sort of like China, sort of like, and people don't even get there's no history teaching of this.
No, and there's a lot of distraction.
Yeah. Designed.
Yeah, it's all by design. Like since 2015, we spent Canadians spent over $1 billion, taxpayer money, for the UN Green Climate Fund, and only 3% of it was actually found that they used. The rest was just stolen money.
Yeah.
Let's see if I 3%. That's it.
Yeah.
That's despicable.
USAID, or even our
Same thing.
vastly rich foreign affairs department that manages most of the grants and contributions. And I mean, just taking a look at the different types of funding that we give for, gender studies for Ugandan, whatever it is, LGBT community. Like, it's
awful.
I can't say it. I would say it would be an alleged funneling money back into the Liberal Party or the Conservative Party, because they all do it. They all do it. And why are we funding
I believe
anything outside of Canada? It's
Yep.
as simple as that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
every dollar that they're sending overseas, like almost $100 billion in this budget, is all debt financed. That we're paying 1.3 or 1.8 billion dollars federally in interest payments a month. So someone's getting dividends on 1.8 billion dollars, and those are the people that actually control the red and blue teams. They're the people that control the back rooms, and people don't know.
Do you think there's ever going to be an opportunity where Canadians will be free again? Or do you think, are you black pilled like me?
I'm not
Or you
black
think
pilled. I'm really thinking either this young generation, what I say young, under 35, is going to totally capitulate to socialism or totally rise up. And that's where the libertarians, the PPC or the New Blue or these other federal-based parties or provincial-based parties will be the lightning rod in which people realize that if something doesn't change, nothing is going to change. And that's where me stepping down is part of it. I mean, I'm 62 years old. I'm the old white guy talking for the Ontario Libertarian Party. But the reality is, if we don't engage the youth, and if the youth aren't engaged on the federal level or provincial levels, it's still the same old people running everything with no new ideas. And I don't mean that we don't have new ideas. It just, if we don't engage the youth, my generation is going to be gone in 10 years, 10 to 15 years. And it's the generations, the Gen Xers that are leading into, and the Gen Zs that are coming up. They'll either be fully socialism or fully seeking freedom. And nobody knows which way that's going to go.
Do you know that we're 1 year apart?
Well, you look a lot younger than me, I'll tell you that.
Really?
Yeah.
I use filters. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't believe in that stuff. I could try some eyeliner. There's my eyeballs. There, now you can see me.
Oh,
Look at that.
That could buff right out.
I got Clint Eastwood eyes, squinty.
Yeah.
But they're honest eyes.
Yeah, I didn't know we were. Well, being close in age, I think that's why we can see things the same way. Because we were kids, we were teenagers, we were, reckless in our 20s. We went through all of that. And 1974, I was 10 years old, you were 11. And
getting shot at.
That's when it all began. And that's when it all started. That's when Pierre, 1974, that's when it all began to go downhill. And we just didn't see it. People didn't see it.
Well,
they just believed what they heard.
So part of my journey was trying to figure out what went wrong from the time that I was 18 to the time I was about 40, because that's when I really started to question Canada's politics. And when I look back on the Pierre Elliott Trudeau days, and you look back on the debates between Trudeau and Trudeau Sr. and Brian Mulroney, you'll see the inklings of the old system of financial governance constrained by the amount of revenue they expected to take in. And then you see shortly after that with the Liberals, Trudeau Sr. putting $60 billion in debt in his last end of his term because he no longer had constraints. You'll see how the eventual main political parties started deficit spending because they had to outspend each other. And, climate policies or GST.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I didn't know if I got lost or not. But they've all come up with ways and means to increase revenue, i.e. taxation. You think back to catalytic converters. Well, they only affected you and me if you bought a car. The carbon tax affects every single part of the moving chain of food and production. And it is all sold to us based on an idea. Oh, smog, we got to get catalytic converters. Acid rain, we got to install scrubbers on the Great Lakes. Ozone layer, we got to ban plastics. You and I are old enough to remember when you were looked upon terribly if you had a paper bag because you were killing the trees, according to Pamela Anderson in Hollywood. You remember that? And now,
Oh, yeah.
now, plastic, microplastics is all garbage, and we have generations of children who come up after plastic bags who never heard the arguments on save the trees. And that's really what the problem is in the world, is that we generationally lose knowledge and generationally lose freedoms that my children never knew we had. You robbed a cherry tree in my community where you grew up in Brighton, Ontario, Mr. McRae would come out with his double-barrel shotgun and shoot you with rock salt. And then when you got home with pelted rock salt in your body, nobody went to jail for defending private property. Your father beat the living crap out of you for stealing somebody else's food on their property. That would be unheard of today.
Yeah,
that man
totally different world.
Years.
Yeah. Well, that's why they took discipline away from the ability to discipline from parents, because they want reckless. But I mean, now, it only takes a generation to, take over a country, and 88% of graduates are liberal.
Yeah. Well, it was
so they're
way.
Indoctrinating them. Yeah. To me, it's all easy to fix. Bank of Canada, interest free again, removing any criminal immigration, like send them back, ban them from here, preserve our culture. And it's nothing to do with racism. It's just got to do with a clash of ideologies.
Well,
I read the Quran, and so I understand where they're coming from. But I also read the Talmud, and that was the most disturbing of all the holy books I've read. It's very disturbing, and we don't have to talk about that right now. But to me, it's all easy to fix. Education is easy to fix to me. We want kids graduating high school with apprenticeships, carpenters and plumbers. This all can be found out in the first 6 years. You can find out what kids are good at, what they excel at, and let them go, let them flourish, and teach them as fast as they can learn. If they learn fast, let them fly like a bird, and it's just all done completely wrong. It's all agenda and ideologies, and it's just so ugly now.
A quick little history lesson. I watched a video from a guy from the 80s, and it was very unpopular. He said that the women's revolution of the 60s and the bra burning and all that stuff was a political plan to place another 50% of the workforce to pay taxes. Prior to that, most women stayed at home, and I'm by no means a sexist. I'm a kept husband now. I'm retired, and my wife supports me basically. But it's kind of like this underlying thing to destroy the family by getting women out of the home and give them to the education system. But more importantly, the making the convenience of door-to-door pickup of schooling and the state looking after your children solve the problem of parents having to pay for daycare. And then what they actually got was 50% more people into the workforce under the women's right issue. And please don't bash me. I'm not saying women belong in the home.
No.
The fact is they created in 20 years 50% more of a workforce that were paying taxes, basically doubling the government's revenue by having that many females join the workforce. And then the education system in Canada especially won the right to unionize with a charter agreement in 1980 with the new charter and constitution in 1986. Public servants, both federally, provincially, and municipally, were allowed to be part of the political process. And prior to that, you were not allowed to do it. So it was fought under Section 7, and that gave them the right to unionize. And as a result of that, unions became the political tool in which they had funding in the form of membership dues to be able to then advertise against the main parties. And in Canada, the unions on the federal and provincial level public service unions in the federal level, and I keep going in and out of focus here. I don't know if you notice that. In the provinces, the unions have taken over all the major metropolitan areas where all the major demographics of populations live. So if you look at Ontario's maps, you'll see that all of the blue and red, or sorry, all the red and orange are in major metropolitan centers where they have the most benefit to vote for more of the government and more state intervention. And they've taken over our political system, both provincially and federally. And that's what's wrong with the whole system. It's very difficult, even for the conservatives, to get funding unless they have unions that are usually construction unions that typically and historically support conservatives, where it's all public service unions that support the NDP and the Liberals. We paid for our own.
So you're not black pilled. See, I'm totally black pilled, but I'm also red pilled and blue pilled, and so I want to have hope, but I'm looking at what's going on, and that's where I'm black pilled, because it's like we need a real leader who, like a Trump kind of, with charisma, and to basically win the hearts of Canadians and just undo all of it.
There's 1,000 of them in Ontario and Canada. There's 1,000 people that are great speakers, are personable, but the message will get zero without the money to force it. And therein lies the fundamental problem. They just voted themselves a bigger subsidy now for the ruling parties in Ontario. Ford did that last week. And, they're starting with a $10 million budget. We're starting with $100,000 if we're lucky. How do you compete against that, and how do you buy your way into the media sphere?
Yeah, well, Ford scares me a little bit. He's a little immature he's really unqualified, unfit. I mean, he grabbed onto the emergency shutdown, lockdown before Trudeau did.
Oh yeah,
like he was gung ho and pouring out the whiskey. I think we talked about this on the last show, but to me, that's just childish. It was made in Canada, for God's sakes. I mean, his whole point was pointless. Like, it was mute because he was pouring out something that was actually made in Canada.
He's a red Tory. He's always been a red Tory. But I really want you to understand that if he destroys through his actions more of the auto industry, more of the businesses that are leaving because of the better business environment that exists in the U.S. compared to Canada, Trump opened the door for those businesses to leave. But what does he get? He gets more authoritarian power as people become more and more poor and more desperate and more destitute. He will work with the federal government to institute universal basic incomes, digital IDs. He's the worst of what you can say is the wolf wearing a sheep's hood, inviting everybody to dinner, and nobody understands it. It's
they don't.
I'm watching what's happening. I've seen it in war-torn countries where I serve. I've watched it happen, and I've seen the after effects. And Margaret Thatcher said it best. She said, "You can vote your way into communism, but eventually you have to shoot your way out." And unfortunately, maybe not this generation, maybe not for 5 generations, if we slip down that totalitarian socialist path, that will eventually come out. I'm hoping that the last 2 generations of kids have had enough of not being able to buy a home and can't afford their weekly, double at Tim's and barely making ends meet. I'm hoping they figure it out and stop conforming.
Yeah. Well, we paid $110 million on gender-sensitive water. Can you believe that? $110 million.
Sure, I believe it. And how much of it went back to the Liberal parties? Remember ad scam? Nobody talks about ad scam anymore, right? Nobody talks about the contract that Mulrooney had and took an envelope full of, not Mulrooney, Mulrooney took an envelope full of $100,000 worth of cash, and I just figured I'd put it in my safe, The corruption is
Yeah, I
there.
don't even know.
It exists within every aspect of provincial and federal government. It exists. It's there. It's there in one form or another. And if it's not corruption, it's done under the guise of let's support this group ideology. And I'm not going to say any groups, but pick group A, pick group B,
Mm-hmm.
pick group C. And if you put them into blocks, then you get voter blocks. And political identity politics, or political, is a tool that's been around since the 80s that they use to stop speaking to individual policies. And all political parties do it, except for libertarians. And they talk to
Yeah.
the simple idea of, if I fund, help, or show interest in your group, then I no longer have to talk to 1 million people. I only have to talk to 10,000 people that will vote for me. So you get the public servants, you get the LGBTQ, you get the green, you get the public, the police, you get all these different identity groups, and you design policy that's not good for Ontario, but it's good for you to seek power. And that's how the whole system works. No longer is it talking about individual. Just go back and look at some of the Joe Clark interviews and Mulroney interviews and Pierre Trudeau interviews and John Turner interviews of the 80s in regards to the federal elections, and see what they were talking about, and then compare it with what they talk about today. And it's astounding. It is 100% pandering to voter demographics, where they can make the most amount of inwards support.
Like, how are people going to be able to trust when these people can lie with a straight face? I mean, they smile and they wear a suit and tie, and they look respectable.
It has nothing to do with truth anymore. It's about, how do I manage the image of what we're doing? And it might be, the image is white, but it might be totally black in what the underlying pathway is, but they're going to produce that white image. And that's the nature of politics. Nobody speaks the truth anymore. Like I said, it's only guys like you that actually have real conversations with real people. The Joe Rogans, the I don't know, Timothy, what's his name there?
Tucker?
Yeah, Tucker Carlson, yeah. Charlie Kirk, rest his soul. People that speak the truth and common sense. And that's why people watch. Nobody watches mainstream media anymore. Just the nursing homes who don't know any better.
Honestly, I've done a lot of shows where I kind of feared for my life, because the more you know, the more you know. It's like, the more I've revealed or discovered things, the more I realized how bad they are, and how, if my voice was loud enough, there's always a Charlie Kirk. If I was that famous, I would be at way more risk. I kind of feel like my faith protects me. I feel protected by God, like, even the low viewership, because to me, I just want the right people to hear the messages. I want to motivate the right leaders and the right people who can talk one-on-one people. And you know what I mean? It has to be like I want to be more of a grassroots thing, where people need to talk again like we are now. We're being honest with each other. We're not selling anything, although I do sell t-shirts. But I mean, selling t-shirts was how season 2 started. It was partially funded.
I didn't even know that.
T-shirts. Yeah.
Now I have to
otherwise it would have never happened. I mean, I don't have $400, so it was all my own money for the season 1, because it was something I believed in. And then the idea of making a t-shirt, I thought, what a great idea. I could fund and start another season, even though it feels like more dangerous as time goes. Speaking the truth is a very dangerous thing. You can't even quote scriptures now, and they could throw you in jail for that.
Yeah, well, C8 and C9, those are terrifying pieces of legislation. Um,
Oh,
but
yes.
in order to give all power to the state, that's what you have to do. Otherwise, you're going to get the Freedom Convoy, which did have a mechanism, the Supreme Court, in regards to our charter challenges. But that's the fundamental flaw of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms and our Constitution, is that it
Mm.
forces individuals to fight with no money to prove their innocence or to prove their individual rights. And that was the initial and original design in which Brian Mulroney and Pierre Elliott Trudeau, both criminal defense lawyers who lost many capital cases, needed to move out of the way. The strong protections of the 1933 Westminster, the 1867 Constitution, and the 1961 Bill of Rights, those were the things that protected us from them. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it
Mm.
certainly definitely codified individual rights with a very streamlined and easy to understand criminal code. The word reasonability shows up 678 times in the criminal code as it stands today, and it never existed once before then, because every crime before that was a delineated crime with X, Y, and Z. And now you can be charged with what is reasonable, and it's up to you to defend your individual rights. And most people can't afford that. That's what the purpose of the Constitution and the Charter did.
Well, also a part of my black pill is that these people are appointing the judges. So it's like a lose lose for Canadians because they're going to use our taxpayer money to fight against us. But we have to use our own money to fight against them. And they will drag it on for years if they have to in order to impoverish us. It's just so sad for me because it's not natural to me. This isn't how mankind is, this is not, these are not goals normal people have. They, for me, like even lumber, I mean, if there's a problem with the trees, and start growing hemp and use hemp instead, it's faster, it's more, it's more productive and faster, and it makes great insulation for homes. I mean, there's so much benefit there, just making this one change. Oh, something happened to our screen. I didn't.
Where did we go?
Oops. Oh, good heavens.
Oh, I'm live. I'm back.
Close.
Oh, look at that. It's your. Oh.
I don't even know how that happened.
Uh,
That's crazy. That's the promo.
oh.
There you are.
Am I back? I'd like to.
Yeah,
I'd like to share my screen just to give someone. It's section 318 of the criminal code.
Yes, you can share screen.
Okay.
Let me just.
And let me see if I got the right one up here.
Remove
Share.
my source. There. Okay, now you. There you go.
Am I sharing? I can't see if I'm sharing or not.
Okay, there we go. We're back. Now you should be able to share screen.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So let me try that again. I just.
Oh, I see. Okay, I think I have to bring it in. That's all. But yeah, I saw your screen.
Okay, just like.
So bring it back,
Yeah, I'll bring
and
it back.
I think.
And I'm gonna do share screen. And I just want to show you what people should really. Is that it there? No, that's it there. I'm going to share it. Okay, let me know when I have it up.
Yep.
Everybody can see it's section 318, every person who advocates, right? So one of the more interesting things that I do is I go to previous versions. And you can go right back to the original version of what this used to be. And compare it to what it used to be in its original versions. I'm just trying to, it's not working right now. Oh, bugger. And you'll see how the versions get to where we're at C8 and C9. This new one that's up, it shows what they've added.
Huh.
And if I were to highlight this in section identifiable group, used to contain 3 items in it. And they've added all these other ones. That's the only thing that I wanted to point out. You can go to do that with all of the different laws that are out there, 318 and 319 particularly. And you can see, if you go to previous versions, you can go right back to the original version on the Criminal Code of Canada website and see how each successive piece of legislation has picked away at our individual freedoms and rights. And that's the only reason why I wanted to bring that up. I wasn't prepared. I just thought, I wonder if he's ever seen it. But it's something interesting to do in regards to our laws, and especially like Section 7 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, or Section 318, 319 free speech laws, Section 2 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and how they've amended it over the years. And it's been governments that amended it, not by vote. So they have changed these things. It's criminal. It's criminal.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think we could get our country back? I mean, I would prefer peaceful. I think they're kind of forcing us. They've got us cornered. You know, I know we can do much better in almost every way.
It takes the youth. You know, demographically, there's 2 things that are going on in Canada right now. The boomers are dying off. I'm the tail end of the boomers. I think you're Gen X. You're 64 and above. I'm 63 and below. We're all going to be dead in 20 years' time. So the next biggest group is not you. It's immigration over the last 18 years. And the demographics of those naturally born Canadians after they immigrated here. Because Gen X's didn't have the same amount of kids as baby boomers did. And every successive generation after that has had less and less children, hence the need for immigration. Immigration was a great tool in the 90s to help the sagging CPP prospects of less people working, and the amount of people going to retire in the next 20 years is called the bell curve. And they said, well, immigration is a good way of doing it. It's how Canada's always survived. And then they figured out that, well, wait a minute, all these people that immigrated are now, that time, liberal voters. And the last 10 years of immigration has ensured that all that immigration has been settled in the major metropolitan areas, and which are predominantly where 78% of all the ridings in the 338 federal elections are in the 14 major cities across Canada. And that's why I predicted that the Liberals would probably win another majority, because demographically they had so many identifiable groups and immigrants that were able to vote after 10 years of liberal immigration policies. That's not racism. That is simply facts.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a question from a guest who's been on the show a few times. Also is the host of The Missing Link that he did very well with for many years. Does any Canadian government honor the Constitution?
No. It's designed that way.
He didn't take long to answer that, eh?
I mean, honestly, Jess, the Canadian Constitution was designed to ensure that the state had power over the individual. That's why they removed property rights from the original 1933 Westminster, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution, which guaranteed property rights, and the state's authority ended at your doors, short of, an ongoing active criminal, a need for police to enter your property. And so doing that, they granted themselves the authority over your safety and security, and they added the reasonability clause, like I said, 678 times to the criminal code, which used to be a delineated law. Capital murder is this, theft is this, property is this. And by adding reasonable, they forced and permitted and empowered police to arrest and let the courts sort it out. And like you said earlier, Paul, the system is designed so that the taxpayer-funded justice system has a never-ending supply of money, whereas individuals, right down to property owners or a kid in the street that gets arrested, has no hope of ever being able to afford a good defense.
So you did say you were standing down as leader. Do you plan to be active politically in the future after you stand down?
Absolutely. I'll never move away from my libertarian newfound position politically. But some of the people that are coming up are amazing young under 35 that look like they're going to take the reins of power. They're already deeply involved in our political ad campaigns and messaging. They are 10 times more savvy than I could ever be in regards to all the different social media platforms and algorithms. And like I said, I would stay on longer, but we've had some real great personal loss in the family in the last year, and it's really making me take stock of what time I have remaining and try to focus my personal life on my family. I gave to the Army and I gave to this cause, becoming its leader, and I would love to stay on if my heart was in it more than what it is right now, because I'm just focused on family right now. That's the truth.
I have a learned helplessness, and I think that's deliberate. I think they want that. They want to, like the lockdowns and the masks, and I think they want to learn helplessness. But diversity and equity, I think that they're placing Islamic people into power. Like the new health minister of Ontario, Canada, is Muslim. So I mean, once they have a majority, they will bring in Sharia law. I mean, that's their intent, their goal, according to their ideology. I mean, I studied that, so I know what the plan is. You know, the plan is to take over, but the end game is Sharia law, which our government loves. All these wars. Look at, we've always supported.
They don't love it. They don't care about it. They don't care about religion. Christianity is, and I say these with pure facts, not for any hate or love for one another, because I've studied them all myself, and I've been in countries where they were all been enacted, and I fought against the very same people that were supposedly Christian or Muslim or Jewish in that matter, or Orthodox Jew. And the reality is they are demographics. The importation of different ethnic cultures, specific ethnic cultures, and the creation of enclaves have created economic zones of political interest, so that eventually those politics and those political leanings based on demographics will take over the demographic layout of Canada. It is already too late to save the white Anglo-Saxon in Canada as a demographic, because we have, for the last 30 years, not had enough children to maintain the demographic of a majority. In the next 20 years, the predominant ethnic background and of people will be either Indian, Pakistani Indian, or Muslim, because they are the people that are having babies. It's not us. And that is simple facts. And call me racist, call me whatever, but statistically, from Stats Canada, it shows that.
For the first time, though, Pierre said the quiet part out loud.
100 churches have been burned. Almost nothing from Liberal government about this. Christians may be the number one group that is victims of hate-based violence. But of course, it's not politically correct to say that. 100 terrorist attacks against Canadian churches. This anti-Christian hate has got to stop. 100.
But demographically, you're done.
What I'm worried about, and I'm not racist, I'm just saying, these ideologies are not compatible.
And
and
remember, of
this
those
is
100
reckless.
churches,
Yeah.
about 42 of them were burned outside of First Nations communities, and those communities were angry over the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And
Oh,
it
really?
is, oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah. So a lot of those churches, not predominantly, less than half, were fundamental grievances against the Canadian government and the Catholic and Christian system altogether,
Wow.
outside of the, Muslim or
That makes a lot of
the other
sense. Yeah,
religious inference.
that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, because remember, a
Yeah.
lot of that was going down on Harper, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
CNR tracks being blocked. Think of
Yeah.
Oka.
Jesse has another question. We are looking for hemp fabric suppliers.
Is Jesse a bot?
No, Jesse's a good friend, actually.
Well, I got
He
5 acres. I could probably grow it. Contact me privately. I don't grow the regular hemp. I don't use hemp.
the super duper pimp. Oh
But
man.
yeah, if there's a market for it, I'd grow it. I mean, I grow my own wheat. I grow probably, realistically, 50% of my own vegetables and food.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, hemp is so amazing. Like it can make patio tiles 3 times stronger and 3 times lighter,
Hempcrete.
which is just amazing.
Yeah.
And it's fireproof as insulation for your house, so less houses going down. I mean, it's breathable, so it's safe. I mean, there's just so many things you can make better, stronger roads. The applications are just incredible,
So
and
you
I
gotta
don't know
understand,
why
World
we're
War
just not
One,
gung ho on it.
World War One, and World War Two, hemp was grown tremendously. Like, we're talking
Mhm.
as much hemp was grown as there was wheat grown in Canada, because it was the building blocks of all ropes before
Mhm.
synthetic ropes came out. So hemp was an amazing industry, and it's been around for hundreds of thousands of years, I'm sure,
Yeah.
as a fiber to produce ropes. It was only replaced because of synthetics.
Mm.
And hemp, as a structure, it's called hempcrete. And
Yep.
hempcrete is a very super lightweight, high fireproof, and very insulative material to build homes with. And we could build hempcrete homes and totally eliminate the forest industry. But
Yeah.
that comes back to one important thing, is that politically, there's a need for a forest industry and the lobbyists that exist
Yep.
for it. There is no political need for hemp. That's why hemp is no longer a talking point. It is about tariffs and softwood lumber, right? And so they have no desire, they will never have any desire to federally want to protect Canada with growing hemp as a replacement to forestry. There's just no political gain in that. There's just nothing to do with it. And therein lies the problem. It's not either one of those problems. It's the influence a government has
Hmm.
that affects the market, because you couldn't bring 10 million acres of hemp to the playing field commercially without the permission of the government. And there's no politics in it for government, so they don't care about it. That's the problem in everything in Canada. No economic freedom, no red tape freedom.
And they will never let a libertarian government be. To me, a perfect Canada would have a majority libertarian government
Sure,
in
but
every province. I mean, you would absolutely enhance people's freedoms.
right. But the
And
problem
bring
is, the government doesn't stop it. The people stop it.
Mhm.
Because the people have the power. I'm always amazed that everybody complains about the same thing after each election, and yet 63% of people don't show up. 40 to 60%
Yeah.
don't show up to vote.
Yeah.
And
Well, the immigrants vote. Immigrants voting, they will vote.
oh,
They'll vote liberal.
Listen, with the floor crossing that happened this week and the potential for 2 more going, he might get his majority government. And that'll make 15 years of liberal rule in which those that have been here for 8 years or more will go to vote. And I want you to think about the demographics of that and where they were all forced into in regards to cities, major metropolitan centers. And the fact that 78% of all the 338 ridings are in the 14 major metropolitan centers. It's very easy, along with the LGBT vote, along with the public service vote, along with the special interest group votes, the green vote, the environmentalists. It's very plausible that if he gets a couple more floor crossers and gets a majority government, guess what? It's very reasonable that they will never be out of power.
Yeah, we're in big trouble.
Yeah.
I know people that have left Canada. They just gave up. They said there's no hope anymore.
Philippines, El Salvador.
But I have hope. I mean, you live in the country, right?
Yep.
You're surrounded by trees. So, I mean, I would have hope if I was there too. Because nature is beautiful. It's calming. I love nature. I love water, especially being close. Are you close to water?
Last month, $68 on food. I'm eating the food that I produce.
Wow. That's amazing.
$68.
Are you close to water too?
Pardon me?
Are you close to water?
We have a natural spring-fed well that requires no filtration.
Wow.
And all of my septic's above ground, so in the sense that all my outlets, I don't need power to pump anything. So we're as self-sufficient as you could possibly be. I got 1,000 watts of solar, another 1,000 sitting there ready to go, 400 amp hours of battery backup, several different ways to pump water, provide electricity. So if the lights went out tomorrow, I'd be just fine. I wouldn't even notice it. So
I wish I was in your situation, to be honest. I would love it.
Do it before the age of 58, though. Do it before the age of 58. It gets harder as you get older.
But you got the best water. I mean, that's probably why you look so young. I mean, you don't look a day over 61. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, my friend. And I'd come back anytime. There's a lot to talk about.
Agree.
We need to get this message out. We need to get our youth engaged, and that's the future. The political system is going to fix itself, but it won't be changed until the young people get involved, and that's who we need to engage. Is the young people. They're the future.
Yeah, and I hope I hope we reach the right ones that are motivated and willing to put themselves forward, because we're the elders, and the elders pass down their wisdom and their knowledge to the youngers, and that's never changed. And Indian community is the same. We listen to our elders and respect them for their wisdom and their holistic medicines, and all these things matter, and they need to be preserved. And who we are and what we come from, the Canada we were born into, can and should be restored. And I hope that's what we will witness before we pass on to into another place. But I look forward to having you on again. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you, everyone at home.
And maybe we
any last words?
Bible-based good eating, in the sense that the Old Testament and New Testament contains everything that you'll ever need to know to survive on your own. And it does.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you at home, my followers, the people who bought T-shirts. Thank you for your support and making season 2 happen. And I look forward to seeing you again. I wish you a good night and a good retirement. And I look forward to having you back again.
Any subject, anytime, my friend, because we really gel well together.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Just have a good night. I was out. They pulled me back in. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.